So Dan, you've played every Zelda.
Yeah.
I do believe just about.
Oh, we're not counting the crappy CDI ones.
No, those don't exist.
They don't count. Okay, yeah, then
Yeah.
yes, every one of them I have played. I would say to completion, but as Jeff Cork knows, I think he's in the same camp, Zelda 2, not so much.
Yeah, not so much Zelda 2.
We played a good chunk of it, but that's the
Enough
only one
of
I
that.
haven't beaten.
So I've only beat one
Okay.
in my life, and it's Link's Awakening. And it happened 2 weeks ago, and I loved it.
Have you tried like A Link to the Past?
Yeah, that's the thing. So Link's Awakening was the first Zelda game that I saw. My friend had it on his Game Boy.
Okay.
And like I grew up with like an Apple II and a Game Gear. So when I saw that game,
Doing that wrong, isn't
I'm
it?
so wrong.
Yeah, you blew
I
it.
didn't know Nintendo existed. So yeah, so I finally saw Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, and it was life-changing. Like I didn't understand that there was a story or any sort of progression. I just like, oh my god, it is a weed hacking simulator. This is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. And I would just like run around the beach and explore. And then every once in a while, my friend would be like, yeah, I got these Pegasus boots. You can run fast. I'm like, oh my god, this weed hacking just got better.
So you beat it for the first time a couple weeks ago. Was there a certain like nostalgia thing going on there? Since
Yeah.
you remember seeing that back then?
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you're gonna play a Zelda game 2 weeks ago, I mean, you look at Link to the Past and it looks gorgeous and it just works better than Link's Awakening, less going into the menu and everything. It offers everything Link's Awakening has, but better. I don't know why you would go back to, gotta look.
So Jeff
wait,
Cork.
let's not even do this.
So this is why I brought Jeff Cork here.
Are you just trying to outnumber me?
Yeah, that's the point.
Oh,
this is
crap.
an intervention to bash Link to the Past.
Should I move my chair over to the other side now? that we've
Dr.
got
Drew,
it?
come on in.
Oh,
So Cork, what's your experience with Link's Awakening?
I love Link's Awakening. I think it's a fantastic game. And I like A Link to the Past as well, but I think that I just like the tone of Link's Awakening a lot. I like the kind of the surreal flavor that's there.
So wait, are you the type that likes Majora's Mask more than Ocarina, kind of because it has that same, it's really weird and surreal and different?
Yeah.
And okay,
Yeah,
all right.
absolutely.
I see that more than I see the Link's Awakening. Link's Bad thing. But sorry, go ahead.
I just like
interrupted you.
like I said, I just like the tone of Link's Awakening a lot. I like the art style. I think that like a lot of Game Boy games try too hard to emulate like the source material, and I think that Link's Awakening really plays to the handheld strength. I think that everything shrinks down and it looks absolutely adorable.
I don't think Game Boy games aged that well. I don't think they looked good back then. Like I owned a Game Boy and I was obsessed with video games, and the only game I owned was Tetris. I never even owned Mario Land 2 or Link's Awakening until like 2001 or something. I bought the DX thing, but like I just didn't think they looked good back then, and I still don't think they look good. Whereas like you look at Super Nintendo stuff, it looks amazing now, and NES stuff at least has kind of that retro charm, but Game Boy, I think, fell in this weird gray area where just nothing really looks that good.
It's not so much a gray area, it's a green and black area,
Oh, yeah,
I
okay.
think. But Link's Awakening DX, I would argue, still looks good to this day.
That's the one I'm playing through now. I have one dungeon left in it on the 3DS one, and I beat it back in like 01, 02 or something. And
Do you remember anything about it from when you beat it back then?
I remember being annoyed that every time I walk up to a stupid crystal or something, it does the like text thing where it's like, "Hey, what a strange looking object. I wonder if you get an item." It's like, yeah, I know the items in my damn menu. Like, let me pause and switch. That's the other thing. You've got two buttons on that. One of them is almost always your sword, and the other one, like, if you want to dash, you have to switch to the boots. If you want to lift something, you have to lift to that. Link to the Past, you had A was your dash button. This would lift pots, and you only had to like switch out your boomerang for your bow and arrow or the ice rod or something.
There's a lot of inventory management in Link's Awakening, and that is
really
a
annoying.
huge downfall.
Yeah, that's a problem with interface though, and I kind of separate that. It's kind of a necessary evil. You're playing a Game Boy game. It's gonna be clunky in that regard. I kind of give that a pass in a lot of ways just because I really enjoyed the story. I think the dungeon design in Link's Awakening is just fantastic. It does a lot of things that the series never did again, which is kind of fun to see.
I will say the dungeon design is great. I really have liked all the dungeons, except for the stupid thing where you have to throw a pot to open a door, which no Zelda game has ever done that, and I spent 2 hours on a plane trying to figure out how to open this damn door.
I feel like you have to do that a couple times, though. Like, they kind of slowly
And it's
build that
stupid
up.
both times. Like,
It
it's
is
never a
stupid.
thing. Throw a pot at a thing to solve a puzzle?
Here's where I'm going to argue with you, because Link to the Past is confusing as hell.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's a
I played
perfect- it's a perfect video game.
No, I disagree. I played it for the first
Perfect.
time about 2 years ago, and I got stuck so often. I used a walkthrough, I'd say, as much as I did for Link's Awakening, which is something I should point out. Like, as much as I love Link's Awakening, I was glued to a walkthrough. I probably checked the walkthrough 15 times.
I feel it's perfectly balanced. I mean, hell, I was like, 9 years old or 8 years old or whatever when I first played through it. And like, yeah, you get stuck, but you're supposed to get stuck. It's never like the game's fault. You just have to figure out what to do.
Maybe
Like,
you just had so much free time as a kid, you could
I
spend
did.
10 hours trying to figure out one puzzle. Is that what it came down to?
No, I just think it's perfectly balanced. Like if you just look at the available resources and areas in Link to the Past, I think everything is just perfectly laid out, perfect level of difficulty. Whereas like some of the difficulty in Link's Awakening, and again, I know it sounds like I'm bashing this, but I love Link's Awakening too, is the overworld. Like, we talk about interface, being an issue. Like, do you defend the overworld to where it's like, well, if I want to get from this place here to this signpost maze over here, I have to go through all this crap and there's no real easy way to tell where I need to go because there's going to be some dumb row of trees blocking me or something. It's just a pain.
It's a pain, but if I remember correctly, it had a pretty decent map.
It does have a map, but even on the map, it's like, oh, this place is just north of this place, and you go there, and it's like, oh no, I have to go on this side winding path. Like, it's kind of a puzzle of an overworld, but still
I'd
fun.
say it's just kind of not that well laid out.
All right, that's fair. But there's enough interesting stuff in the overworld that I think to explore. Like the raft section's cool.
Raft section's cool. I like the signpost maze, just fun little things like that, like the weird chain chomp house, and like there's some cool areas there.
Yeah. By the way, it's Bow Wow.
Oh, I'm
like,
sorry.
Since I grew up, looking at this game more than Mario, I always just assumed chain chomps were called Bow Wows. Like when I started playing Mario, it's like, oh, this Bow Wow's after me. What's going on? It completely distorted my viewpoint. My life was flipped upside down. Now, I'm obsessed with the development of Link's Awakening too. Like I was reading quite a bit about it, and it started out with just people from Nintendo staying late just to mess with the Game Boy technology. And the first thing they did was like to see if they could emulate fishing and like build a fishing simulator on it. Then they realized like, oh, this Game Boy can do quite a bit. So then they started making a port of Link to the Past. And then they realized like, it's not
like a direct port?
Yeah, and they're like, that's not really fun or interesting. So then they shifted that and turned it into a whole new game. A lot of the development of the game was done just after hours. Like people would just stay late at Nintendo and just do it out of sheer love. They called it like their after school club, where they would just hang out and have a good time developing it. And they even said that like there's no pressure. Like Miyamoto was hardly involved. He came in at the end a little bit. But up to that point, it was just like a crunch-free environment for pure exploration and fun. I think it's really cool. And like, actually, like the director Tezuka, who directed Link to the Past as well, like he was quoted and he's like, yeah, I guess we just felt complete freedom because we just thought like, it's a Game Boy, who cares? Like there's no pressure on us. So that's why they included all those crazy Nintendo references. Like they threw Kirby in there.
Goombas
they have the Goombas, they have like Mario look-alike.
Wart from Super Mario Brothers 2, I think he just taught me an ocarina song. So yeah, he's in there, or his character model at least. Right. That classic character.
But I love that development story. And they even said, like, there's a great quote that I read from Tezuka. He said that like throughout all of development, they felt like they were making a parody of a Zelda game. Like they never felt it was a real Zelda game. They're just having fun with it.
I mean, it does have the surreal things like Jeff brought up, like just the whole idea of the windfish and this giant egg on a mountain. Like,
do you remember the end of that game?
I kind of remember.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Can we spoil it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. It doesn't just a giant like whale thing come out of an egg and float in the sky and talk
It's
to
like
you?
a gypsy rainbow whale. Yeah, and then of course the big twist at the end is that it was all a dream. But again, like people, you're not really expecting a story payoff. Like it's not like, oh gee, what's going on in this mysterious world? Oh, it turns out it's all a dream.
So Link's Awakening is the final season of Roseanne of the Zelda series.
I've always said that.
Okay.
It was on the back of the box.
Okay, I see.
That's
good.
Yeah, but I love it. But then there's also another twist after that twist because Link is still like in the shipwreck after the beginning when the lightning strikes the ship. And by the way, we should throw out like the intro video. I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the rain and the beach and everything.
Oh my god, and just the music, how it climbs up the mountain and then it just hits. At the very end, so Link is like sitting out there in the ocean, and then he looks up, and the whale flies over the sun, which implies that it wasn't all a dream in some weird way, or Link's just hallucinating on seawater. Like you never quite figure out what's going on there.
He's probably quite hungry at that point.
It's true.
Of his marooning.
Yeah. But I think the music is fantastic. Tall, Tall Heights. I think it's some of the best Zelda music ever made.
You have to help a bear get a honeycomb down with a stick.
Monkeys build a bridge for you.
I do like the monkey part a lot.
Okay.
That's pretty nice.
You can steal stuff from the store.
Yeah, and then I haven't done it playing through it now because I seem to remember, like, aren't you just never allowed back in there? Or like it kills you or something if you go back in there?
I think he just calls you thief.
I knew there was some kind of permanent repercussion to that, and I think, it's just your name is Thief always, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, it's pretty
cool.
tough stigma.
Yeah, and then like I was reading more about the development of it, and like I guess it was heavily inspired by Twin Peaks. Like all the characters in the town are just very mysterious. There's like this weird Kafka vibe to it almost. Like the kids like are playing ball and they're like, oh, you have to press this to save, and that makes some weird reference to the Game Boy controls. And I'm like, I don't know why I just said that.
Yeah. And then the Olrira, I don't know how to pronounce it. The guy, like, there's always just a phone in the house, and you can talk to him for hints. And then you go to the place that's obviously his house, and he gets like really shy and stuff. He's like, why don't you just leave and call me? Like, I kind of like that.
The boss fights are awesome.
Pretty good.
There's one, I don't know if you've seen him yet, Dan, the boxing guy. Have you seen this? Do you remember this?
Yeah.
He's just this boss, this weird looking, short guy with boxing gloves, and he punches you, so hard he puts you to the beginning of the dungeon again. And you have to run through again and keep on fighting him.
Yeah.
Huh. That must be the one I'm at now, because I'm at like the 8th dungeon. Like,
Yeah,
I get
that's
the
it,
8th
actually,
instrument
yeah.
or whatever, and then I go to the Windfish.
Yeah, he's gonna
Don't
drive
let
you
him
nuts.
punch you.
No punching? Okay. Yeah, the boss fights are good. And again, the dungeons are great. The dungeons are of Zelda caliber quality.
I think we had talked about this too, that one dungeon that I got stuck on for the longest time, the first time I played it, was the one where there are all those 4 pillars, and you have to throw that iron ball at the pillars to make the dungeon collapse within itself to access different areas that you couldn't get to otherwise.
The boss fight's really cool there too. It's on the top of the tower, and like the eagle's like swooping down. The 2D sections, or like the side view sections, I love.
Yeah, those are cool. Aren't there thwomps at some point? Or basically things that are basically thwomps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can actually like jump on the Goomba's heads and stuff and damage them.
Yeah, there's Bowser's head you have to like shoot a grappling hook to catch on to. And it started a lot of new trends for the Zelda series. Like they were saying that there was like the first game where they put a heavy emphasis on story. And the story's pretty weak, like you go on that date. And then it started fishing.
Oh,
It
yeah.
started
Yeah.
really the musical instruments. I mean, the ocarinas in
Yeah.
this first.
Well, no,
First
the
Zelda
ocarina
had
isn't
a
like the
whistle.
best. The ocarina wasn't like the best.
Was it?
I don't think they call it the ocarina. They might just call it the flute. But it's how you play it, and the duck thing comes down and swoops you up, and you can warp around. So yeah, it is definitely in that. And the first one had the kind of
warp
recorder
whistle.
thing. Yeah.
But I guess the big question for me is always, can you get into Zelda now? Like, I bet if I didn't have that ounce of nostalgia for this game, I don't think I would have played it.
That's the thing is, I don't have that nostalgia for this one, even though I played it in late high school or something, but like not like kid nostalgia thing, and I don't have that nostalgia for it. Like, I'm just kind of powering through it because I don't remember a lot of it. But that makes me wonder though, if I were to pick up Link to the Past today for the first time, it's my favorite game of all time, but I wonder if I would play it now. If it would just be like, yeah, okay, it's like it seems like it's improved on the NES one. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what happened to me 2 years ago when I picked up Link to the Past. I was like, I can appreciate this, but I can say I'm enjoying myself.
I don't want to think about that.
Sorry.
I don't want to think about that.
Some weird alternate dimension where you never play Link to the Past. You'd probably be homeless
I'd be
now.
working on a highway laying asphalt or something, I'm sure.
3 kids.
Yeah. It's a good game.
Yeah,
it's a good game.
fantastic.
Great game.
I would argue, with the exception of 2, maybe the weakest Zelda.
Really?
But, yeah. What other front runners are there for weakest core Zelda?
I would argue the first Zelda is much weaker. To go back and play now.
First one's better than Link's Awakening.
No.
I think it is.
No way, dude.
I think it
You're
is.
nuts.
See, that is like pure nostalgia.
I'm trying to think too. I'm trying to like filter out the nostalgia from the actual
I don't
game
think you can
quality.
argue, like, effectively, you cannot convince me that the first Zelda is a better game. It's certainly, like, if you want to talk about influence.
Yeah,
and that kind of
again,
thing.
if I were to pick up the first Zelda today, I can pretty much certainly say that I don't think I'd like it that much.
No.
Right.
As far as a gameplay experience, appreciating it, yes. But yeah, that's true. Okay. It's so hard to take nostalgia out of this equation
Yeah,
here.
it
'cause,
is everything to
For all of
Zelda.
us, Zelda is so nostalgia drenched.
Right.
So, but I will still say it is one of the weakest.
So is it just that Jeff and I put a strong emphasis on like just the fun, bizarre aspect of
But I like that
Link's
too.
Awakening?
Like I love Majora's Mask. But
Right.
again, I've got the nostalgia thing because I played that when it first came out when I was like 14. So like, I've got the nostalgia there. I don't have it here. So
So we need to find somebody who's never played Zelda and have them play all of them.
that
and
would be
then
an
tell us.
awesome experiment.
Would that be great?
That would be so cool. Someone that's never touched a Zelda game.
We could force my 4-year-old to do it because he's terrible at games, and this would make him want to play hockey or something else instead.
We could change his life.
Yeah, let's do it. He could be working laying asphalt with 3 kids someday.
God willing.
Yeah, I do what I can.
Link's Awakening, my favorite Zelda.
Yeah, it's probably up there for me too.
Okay. And Dan hates life.
Well, Dan also
And
likes.
fun.
What's your favorite restaurant?
My favorite restaurant?
It's Old Country Buffet, isn't it?
It's up there. Well,
Yeah.
Very relevant points.
I think in a way it is.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Would you believe the opinions of this man seated before you?
Bringing up character issues,
Yeah, exactly.
character flaws.
Yeah, that's what we'll call it. It's a flaw.